Okay, so we have young kids, they can't wear a mask. So for the time being, say we decide that we're not going to go to mass, we're just going to stay home, and we're going to try to do our best to keep the day holy. So how do we know that we're doing something holy enough for Sunday if we can't go to mass?
Well, we have to think about the reason, or what are we supposed to be doing on Sunday? Right? Let's say there was no coronavirus, right? And please God, a few months from now, like it'll be a normal Sunday again. What are we supposed to be doing on a normal Sunday? Well, really two things. It's really clear in the scriptures. You do two things on Sunday. You rest and you worship. You rest and you worship. The church has given us, with the authority that Jesus gave to Peter, check out Matthew 16 if you're interested. The church has given us, okay, here's how you have to worship in normal circumstances on a Sunday. You go to Sunday Mass. So what do I do now on Sunday? Like, how do I know it's enough? Well, I'm not trying to find something like equivalent to Sunday Mass, because there is nothing. That's the sacrifice of Christ. When we're in a state of grace, when we receive communion, we receive God into our bodies. There's nothing equivalent to Sunday Mass. So we don't want to try to do that. What we want to try to do is to rest and to worship. So probably in normal times, the rest is the hardest. I'm not... St. John Paul II wrote a letter on Sunday, and he said that for the rest part, on Sunday, what we're supposed to do is more or less take a step back and look at what's already been done, rather than thinking about the next thing that we need to do. On Sunday, we take a step back and we look at everything that's already been done, rather than thinking about the next thing that we need to do. So that's the first thing. Do that. And that's definitely an invitation for me. Like I struggle to do that on Sundays, and as I'm saying this, as these words are coming out of my mouth, I'm convicted. And I think that's for most of us. I think even in normal times, like when we do go to Mass on Sundays and the obligations there and all that stuff, we don't rest too well. We really struggle with that, at least today in America, and I struggle with that. So that's the first thing, to rest well. Number two, to worship. Well, if you can't go to Mass right now, right, because you've received the dispensation from the church and chosen to not, because that's the best thing for your family with prudence, then you pray. So if that's praying with the live stream, great. Praise God. If it's not praying with a live stream, okay, great. If it's praying a decade of the rosary or a whole rosary, great. It doesn't have to last an hour. It might, great. If it's probably a really good thing, like thinking about y'all, a lot of couples who are probably in similar situations, is if like you two could carve out time like to pray with the readings for the Mass, read them out loud, like take turns, read them out loud, and then just spend some time in silence. And then, with the boys, pray a decade of the rosary. Right? Fulton probably can't pray a decade of the rosary by himself, but if he's there with you, hey, it's time to pray, well, he'll learn. And John Paul, well, at 6.5 months, he'll just be there, right? And receive the graces of being part of the family. But so I think, you don't have to do everything with your kids. Some things you should do with your kids, obviously. You have a duty of that as parents. But at the same time, your whole worship on Sunday doesn't have to be done with your kids. Some things you can do, and then some things you can do with them.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think, the rest part is so difficult. I feel like we view Sunday as like this catch-up day where all the stuff we couldn't do, now let's get it all done in one day, you know? I think I agree the rest part is probably most difficult for me.